Welcome to Expert Real Estate Secrets, the show where real investors share real strategies that actually work. No fluff, just actionable tips to help you close more deals, make more money, and build lasting wealth. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Expert Real Estate Secrets. I'm Don DeRosa, here as always with the one and only Mia Arnold. And no kidding, the next gold rush in real estate, it's not houses, not malls, it's data centers, AI hubs, IoT-driven buildings, places that didn't even exist as investment categories a decade ago.
Yeah, totally, Don. You know, we talk a lot about finding new opportunities, and this right here is where things are just exploding. It's not just about location and curb appeal anymore. Data is becoming as valuable as oil, and all those tech trends, they need, well, an actual place to call home.
I mean, how many times lately have we seen metros like Northern Virginia literally breaking records with those absorption rates? Warehouses and land are getting snatched up just as fast as the demand for cloud computing, and AI keeps ramping up.
The first time I walked into a data center that had been a distribution warehouse, it kind of blew my mind. I remember thinking, okay, what's going on here? Rows of blinking servers, insane cooling, real estate potential totally redefined for me. It wasn't pretty, but the cash flow was.
And I think that's what people got to understand. It's not always about pretty, it's about potential. Oh, and before I forget, if you want more insights on building wealth through these new ideas, head on over to expertrealestatecoaching.com. It's all there.
So let's walk through what makes this stuff work from an investment angle. It's a mad dash for land that's not only plentiful, but actually functional for all those data cables, fiber, power, and, oh my gosh, the cooling alone is wild. But it's not just greenfields. There's a crazy trend in converting old factories, big box stores, even old office parks into tech campuses and IoT hubs.
Yeah, people think all the action is just in Silicon Valley, but nope, not anymore. Take Atlanta, for example. What used to be considered flyover territory is now one of the fastest growing secondary data center markets, right up there with Dallas. I actually helped a buddy turn this tired old warehouse into a logistics site with IoT sensors. He invested in climate controls, tracking systems, and suddenly tenants are lining up for space that used to sit empty for months. The upgrade didn't just raise the rent, it doubled the entire value of the property.
And that's a good reminder, too. It's not about building new all the time. Sometimes it's about how smart you can be with the assets right under your nose. All right, but let's talk straight. There are real hurdles here, too. It's easy to get excited about the next big thing. But if you're thinking of jumping straight in, you gotta know about the risks. First off, the upfront costs are, well, intimidating, especially all the electrical and cooling infrastructure you need for these high-tech tenants.
Yeah, and you don't want to end up with a single giant tenant, say a hyperscale company, that leaves, and now you're on the hook. Plus, the tech moves lightning fast. Buildings that were hot 5 years ago can get obsolete overnight if they can't adapt. And then there's zoning, or should I say zoning headaches. Some towns just don't want everyone putting in new fiber lines or bumping up power grids.
Right. But here's what I tell people. You don't always have to swing for the fences. Maybe it's buying into a syndication or REIT focused on digital infrastructure. Or maybe you're making smaller commercial spaces IoT ready. I once helped a local accounting firm retrofit their office with smart locks and energy management. They saved on utilities, attracted cool new tenants, and it was a pretty simple upgrade. Big ROI, no computer science degree required.
Exactly. There are plenty of ways to dip your toe in without going full-on tech mogul. Let's zoom out and look ahead for a minute. The next wave is all about things like 5G and edge computing. Those are the mini data centers that prep local areas for things like self-driving delivery bots, high-speed streaming, or smart factories. That means not just the big metros, but smaller hubs and even some rural spots are going to need new sites and upgrades.
Yeah, and where those trends pick up, the smart money finds neighborhoods and pockets most people overlook. If you're thinking about holding for the long term, it's about identifying the regions, not just the big cities, where tech investment is just starting to hit. And everything we're seeing says, build for flexibility. Give tenants the ability to upgrade without gutting the whole place in 5 years.
Adaptable space is key now more than ever. Don't paint yourself into a corner with obsolete layouts or underpowered buildings. Trust me, if you can offer true plug and play for the next wave of services, that's how you stay relevant.
So, How do you make your properties stand out? It comes down to integrating tech baked right into the building. Smart building management systems, even entry-level, can make operations smoother, cut energy costs, and seriously attract tech-forward tenants. And it bumps up the rent, which, let's be honest, never hurts.
Plus, forming strong relationships with local IT firms or managed service providers. That can keep you a step ahead. You got to know what's coming, whether it's new IoT protocols, AI-driven HVAC, or something that wasn't even on your radar last year. Don't be shy about doing tech audits every couple years either. Falling behind on the latest standards isn't just about the gadgets. It can cost you real money if you need emergency retrofits.
And take advantage of partnerships. I've seen property owners team up with tech startups to pilot new features. Sometimes those small bets evolve into huge selling points for the building.
Another thing investors overlook is adapting strategy as the market changes. We've talked about this before, right? It used to be about location. But now, it's location and infrastructure. Researching which regions are getting new fiber or aggressive new 5G rollouts. That's worth as much as traditional comp analysis these days.
Design matters too. If you build in flexible floor plans and easy upgrade pathways, modular wiring, accessible server rooms, you're ready to add value the second a new tech need pops up. It's a hedge against obsolescence. And Dawn, like we talked about in the Burr Method episode, systems and ongoing education make all the difference. You got to be in those tech meetups and workshops, even if it feels uncomfortable at first.
Exactly. And that's where you get the edge, knowing what's coming instead of always playing catch-up.
Let's go a little deeper on data. Smart investors today are leaning into analytics. Not just the old spreadsheets, but these new platforms that crunch real-time info about tenants, market trends, and how well your buildings actually work. If you're not measuring, you're basically guessing.
And predictive analytics, man, I love that stuff. You can literally see where infrastructure demand is about to spike and get there first, giving you options to prioritize the best returns. Setting up real connected data collection across your assets lets you monitor those IoT devices, manage energy, and fix things before they break. That kind of proactive management, that's how the smart money plays it.
Exactly. Gone are the days of set it and forget it. This is hands-on, but the payoff is huge when you're the investor using real numbers over hope and guesswork.
You know, it's funny. Every time you think you've caught up on tech, it changes again. That's why real estate investors have to get comfortable doing a little scenario planning, like, what if edge computing takes off here? What if AI models need way more power than we thought? It's less about guessing right, more about building in the ability to pivot.
I love that. Keeping your design and investment playbook flexible, so if the next tech leap happens, you're not stuck with stranded assets. And those relationships we mentioned earlier, regular touch points with innovators, JV deals, or just showing up for local tech events, they open doors you just don't get by sitting on the sidelines.
That's how you skip being caught off guard. If you want to win, find where the friction is and get in the conversation before it's mainstream. Those are the opportunities that pay off for years down the road.
All right, so how do you actually put this to work right now? First, invest in full-blown smart systems, security, energy, tenant controls, integrated as much as you can. That's going to boost value, lower operating headaches, and make your properties a total magnet for tenants in the tech space.
And don't forget about strategic alliances either. Partnering with local tech startups to pilot custom IoT solutions can set your properties way ahead of the curve. You want your buildings to be known as the place where cutting-edge companies go first.
Yeah, and set regular times, let's say every couple of years, to reassess your tech setup. Standards change, regulations evolve, and what's compliant today can be a big cost tomorrow if you let it slide. Stay current, stay competitive, and you'll always be one step ahead of forced, expensive retrofits.
So that about wraps it for today's deep dive. If you want to dig deeper, whether you're doing traditional deals or exploring these newer verticals, check out expertrealestatecoaching.com for in-depth training and strategies.
Thanks for hanging out with us. I feel like every episode makes me want to go find another boring old warehouse and give it a tech glow up. Don, always a pleasure.
Always, Mia. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, being smart in real estate today means getting smart about technology too. I'm Don DeRosa, she's Mia Arnold, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.
That's it for today on Expert Real Estate Secrets. If you're ready for hands-on coaching and real results, go to www.expertrealestatecoaching.com. www.expertrealestatecoaching.com right now. Join the community, get the tools, and start closing more deals. We'll see you on the next episode.